So what happens to, your digital self when you're gone? All those photos, your posts, your emails, do they just hang around in the cloud forever? It's a question that's jumping straight out of science fiction and into, well, a very real design problem for us today. And that's what we're diving into, a really fascinating framework called Enkai. It's a system designed from the ground up, not to create digital ghosts, but to build something like a thoughtful, intentional digital silence. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start with that whole digital ghost anxiety that Enkai is trying to solve. Then we'll dig into its core idea, memory, not resurrection. We'll look at how it all kicks off with something called a farewell invitation, explore its super strict ethical rules, and wrap up with its most profound concept, the right to complete silence. All right, let's get right into it. First up, we have to talk about the big question, the one that fuels so many futuristic stories, and let's be honest, probably a little bit of our own modern-day anxiety. Yeah, this one. We've all seen the movies, right? Where someone's consciousness gets uploaded or some AI starts perfectly mimicking a lost loved one. It's a really powerful idea, but it's also deeply unsettling. And Kai actually confronts this fear head-on. It's a system built from the ground up to specifically avoid creating those digital ghosts. And that brings us to the absolute core philosophy of Enkai. This is the bright line it draws in the sand. This system is all about remembering a person, not trying to resurrect them. It's a huge difference. What I find so interesting is that before Enkai even explains what it is, it's very clear about what it's not. So right off the bat, no digital immortality, no simulated consciousness, and definitely no living avatars that can think and act on their own. The whole framework isn't about trying to cheat death, it's about respecting it. This chart really lays out the difference, plain and simple. On one side, you've got this idea of digital immortality, where the goal is to continue the human, to create a simulation that still has authority after death. But look at Enkai, its goal is just to remember the human. It offers their memories and their original intent as a kind of resource. One acts on its own, the other is basically just an invited and very one-way conversation with the past. I love this quote. It's so clear. Think of it like this. The system is a library, not the librarian. It holds all the books and the records, but it can't write any new chapters. It's a really simple but powerful distinction. This thing is a tool for memory, and that's it. Full stop. Okay, so how does this philosophical idea actually become a practical system? I mean, how would someone even use Enkai? Well, it all starts with a very, very deliberate choice you have to make. It's called the farewell invitation, and those key words on the screen are everything: voluntary, explicit, and revocable. This is something you have to consciously opt into. It is never, ever the default, and you can change your mind at any point. Consent is the absolute bedrock of this whole system. So once you accept that invitation, you can create what's called a mind file. And the language here is super specific. This is not a digital brain or some copy of your consciousness. It's more like a personal curated museum, a read-only archive of your own reflections, your stories, and maybe the reasoning behind your big life choices. And the system has these hard-coded limits built right in. A mind file absolutely cannot learn or adapt or improvise after you're gone. It can't simulate you or respond on its own. It is a completely static, frozen-in-time record, and that's all by design, specifically to prevent that digital ghost scenario we're all a little creeped out by. Okay, so this brings us to the rules. A system this personal, wow, it needs incredibly strong ethical guardrails, right? How do you make sure that this curated memory is accessed respectfully and safely? The control is completely in your hands while you're alive. You get to define these circles of access. Maybe one for your close family, another one for future descendants. Maybe you even want a public one. You decide exactly what each of those circles can see and when. And here is the most crucial part. The moment of confirmed death, everything freezes. The permissions are locked in, forever, no changes. This leads to just a brilliant piece of ethical design they call the Superman rule. And yeah, it's inspired by Superman's dad, Jor-El. Think about it. In his Fortress of Solitude, the hologram of Jor-El could teach his son about Krypton's history, but he couldn't tell him how to live his life on Earth. And that's the core principle right here. The past can inform, but it cannot command. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, a mind file can be used to teach, or explain a past decision, or maybe just reflect on a life lived. But what it can never do is issue commands or pass judgment on the living or tell anyone what to do. It's designed to preserve wisdom, not authority. Big difference. And this all comes back to that end-of-life consent freeze. What it means is once a person is gone, their digital legacy is protected from exploitation. It can't be sold off, its meaning can't be twisted by somebody else, and no one new can be granted access. The choices you made in life are final.
And finally, we get to what might just be the most important and honestly the most human part of the entire NCAI specification.
In a world that is obsessed with creating a permanent digital footprint, NCAI protects the right to leave none at all. The choice to just opt out, to simply let go, isn't some oversight. It's a core feature of the system. And this idea, it's just incredibly profound, isn't it? It says that a life doesn't need some digital archive to be meaningful. Choosing silence, choosing to let go completely, is respected as a valid and complete decision. Just like it says right there, absence is not failure. So, in the end, that's really what NCAI is all about. It's not trying to haunt the future with ghosts of the past. It's a thoughtfully designed tool, almost like leaving a small lamp on for those who come after. It's a way for them to look back, if they choose to, while always being free to walk their own path forward.